Thanks for choosing us. Tonight, drivers and passengers plying the Tamale-Wale-Bolgatanga highway are voicing fears of attacks after police were withdrawn from the route. The move, reportedly ordered by the Inspector General of Police due to intelligence on potential attacks, has left travelers worried that the already poor road conditions could encourage highway robberies and put lives at risk. Correspondent Ilyas Otanko reports.
The Tamale-Wale-Bolgatanga section of the National Road 10 is one of the most strategic transport corridors in northern Ghana. It links the northern, northeast and upper east regions and serves as a vital route for the movement of people, foodstuff, fuel and commercial goods to and from neighboring countries, particularly Burkina Faso and Togo. Despite carrying a high volume of traffic, the highway has suffered years of neglect and has deteriorated to dangerous levels. It is riddled with potholes, contributing to frequent accidents and creating opportunities for robbery attacks. Vehicle breakdowns are also common due to the poor state of the road. As part of measures to secure the highway against robbery and other road offenses, the Ghana Police Service previously increased the number of checkpoints and deploy additional personnel. These measures led to a significant reduction in attacks and accidents along the route. However, for the first time in the history of this busy transport corridor, a violent incident against the police has resulted in the complete closure of nearly 20 checkpoints and the withdrawal of all police personnel along the highway. The police pullout was reportedly ordered by the Inspector General of Police following the fatal attack on a police officer on December 28 by armed men at a checkpoint between Karaminga in the northeast region and Pualugu in the upper east region. The police say they also received intelligence pointing to further imminent attacks on officers. Here is the Wale District Police Commander, ASP Seth Ejekum, confirming the IGP's directive.
We will be there upon the recommendations from the regional commander, by extension IGP. It is from IGP's directives.
Please, is it related to the incident that occurred where an officer was shot dead?
It is in relation to the Wulugu Karaminga attack.
The security withdrawal has left one of the busiest highways in northern Ghana unguarded, with drivers and passengers expressing fears of a possible surge in robbery attacks and road crashes. At the Bolga station in Tamale, a commercial driver who has plied the route for years described the situation as frightening.
It's very bad. The way the road is, no police on the road. If you are traveling in the night time, it's very risky for we the drivers. Sometimes if it is 6 o'clock, you can't move your car again. So we are pleading on the police to come back and be on the road because it's very risky. Nobody can travel in the night time again. Yesterday like this, they robbed about 3 cars. Why? They should come and help us.
Another driver, Jalil Bashir, says he has been compelled to reduce his operational hours due to the absence of police officers. At the Wale Lorry Station, driver Pam Nkrumah appealed for the immediate return of law enforcement officers.
To be honest, if the police are back, we all will be very graceful because at times if they are there, I can move at 10 o'clock or even 11 o'clock. If they know that police are standing within this, moving by 24 kilometers away, maybe they will also like to come back out from that very place again.
Passengers boarding buses and minibuses share similar concerns. Fusaini Muslim, a student traveling from Tamale to Wale, said the news has made his journey stressful. Road users fear the development could embolden highway robberies, especially along isolated stretches between Wale and Bolgatanga, where visibility is poor and emergency response times are slow. Many drivers are calling on authorities to urgently review the decision or introduce alternative security measures, including mobile patrols or military support to protect lives and property. Until then, drivers and passengers say they are forced to rely on prayers and cautious travel along a highway they now describe as poor, dangerous, and unguarded. From Wale, Ilyas Otanko reporting for JoyNews.
Back to Accra now, where the Accra Mayor, Michael Alote, has given traders occupying pavement in the central business district until the end of January to vacate or risk eviction. Traders who were removed during last year's decongestion exercise have since returned, worsening congestion and creating safety risk. More details are in the following report filed by Michelle Latte.
Unauthorized street trading by vendors has not only become a nuisance, but also an age-old albatross that city authorities continue to struggle to tackle. When Accra Mayor Michael Alote was sworn into office, one of the priority areas he sought to address was illegal trading on pavements. Despite last year's decongestion exercise, which aimed to dissuade traders from peddling their wares on pavements, the streets are now far more congested than they were during the crackdown. Speaking to the media after the sword-cutting ceremony, the mayor warned that traders who fail to vacate the pavements by the January 30 deadline will face sanction.
And the last thing I want to say is that I'm giving the traders in Accra up to the end of January. Please, they should move back to the normal red line so that we all live in peace. By the end of January, I am going to clear the streets. This time I'm not putting human face in it because I've been talking to people, I've been walking to them for some time now.
The ceremony also marked the start of rehabilitation works at the Makola Government Clinic, one of the 6 key development projects by the Accra Metropolitan Assembly. According to the Accra Mayor, the initiative reflects government's commitment to improving healthcare delivery, with plans also announced to expand and renovate the Makola market.
Since now, African renovation go down. Your Excellency John Dramani.
Since this facility was built, it has never been renovated. After my appointment by the President, I made a commitment to renovate it. And today we are here to cut sod for the project. Once this is completed, we will move on to the market. After finishing work at the Salaga market, we will return here to expand the market. Our goal is to relocate all traders operating on the streets into the market.
Market women at Makola welcomed the announcement, expressing optimism about improved healthcare services and better trading conditions.
We thank the mayor for taking the initiative to renovate the clinic. This is exactly what they should be doing. It makes us proud of the choice we made in voting. When the renovation is completed, they must make sure that the clinic has enough medical supplies. He has done so much, and we are truly grateful for his efforts in helping us.
The upgraded Makola Government Clinic is expected to improve healthcare access for residents and traders in the Central Business District. For JoyNews, Michelle Latte.
Decongestion exercises in Accra continue to fail to achieve lasting results. Dr. Richard Fiadomo, a local governance expert, says the persistence of the problem is partly due to politicians profiting from such exercises. He spoke earlier on Newsdesk with MFR Deti.
The truth of the matter is that decongestion exercises have become political shadow boxing. Anytime a new mayor or chief executive comes into office, he or she wants to announce his or her presence to the people by doing a decongestion exercise. After the decongestion exercise is done, everybody, including the mayors, they go to sleep. This is the very same mayor who did a decongestion exercise immediately he came to office about 6-7 months ago. A red line was created and it was expected that nobody should cross the red line. The question we ask ourselves is, why has the red line been crossed? Is the assembly not having city guards who go to the market on a daily basis to ensure that people comply and do not go beyond the red line? So for me, what I've come to see is that the assemblies are beginning to use decongestion exercise as an avenue for corruption.
The National Anti-Illegal Mining Operations Secretariat, NIMOS, has halted illegal mining activities on cocoa board research lands at Ponso in the eastern region. 12 illegal miners were arrested and 8 excavators seized. The site had been visited twice before NIMOS by NIMOS to stop the destruction of the research facility, but miners returned just a week after previous interventions. The arrested miners were handed over to the Ghana Police Service and the excavators seized taken to NIMOS equipment base in Accra. NIMOS spokesperson Pakwesi Shandov confirmed the arrest and said additional measures have been implemented to strengthen the fight against illegal mining.
Indeed, it was a very fruitful exercise, one that adds to the many successes of the National Anti-Illegal Mining Operations Secretariat. For this particular place, this is not the first time NIMOS is being there. NIMOS has been there twice, but it appears, like I've always been saying, that like we've been communicating and putting across, the illegal miners seem to have a very obstinate and recalcitrant posture. That is to say, you flash them out today, the next day, they gather momentum and then they return. And that justifies why, effective immediately, within the first quarter of this year, NIMOS is now going to deploy 24/7 uninterrupted surveillance across all of these flashpoints. Because we cannot have a situation where an operation is carried in area A and then the next day the illegal miners have gotten back there. For this particular place, for example, today, this recent operation would mark perhaps the third of such an exercise in that particular enclave. And so it tells you clearly that the illegal miners do not just stop. You arrest them today, the next day they are back on and all of that. And so the permanent deployment is the way to go. And as I have been indicating, the clearance for that has been given and therefore it will be implemented any moment from now. All 12 persons who have been arrested, they've all been handed over to the police. The next thing that is going to happen is that they're going to assist with investigations and then onward prosecutions would begin in that regard.
Away from that, today marks 4 days and 3 nights since the former Finance Minister Ken Ofori-Atta was taken into custody by U.S. Immigration and Customs Enforcement, ICE. His legal team says they cannot confirm when he will be released. Mr. Ken Ofori-Atta has been in ICE custody since Tuesday following questions about his immigration status. In a statement, his lawyer said he is cooperating fully with authorities while negotiations continue. They insist that his pending adjustment of status is a standard immigration procedure that should be resolved quickly. Speaking on the AM show, lawyer Frank Davis said that despite intense efforts by U.S. attorneys, there is still no clear indication of when the former finance minister will be released.
Oh, I can't tell you that, Kojo. I can't. I am not in a position to do that. I am not a speculative lawyer. Neither am I a clever. So I'll wait for the process to be determined. And then when in the fullness of time they make a decision, the Ghanaians will know. You be the first. You be the first that I'll speak to.
So it is not as people say that he is afraid he will be detained when he comes.
Afraid of what?
Of being detained.
In the streets of Accra before he left.
That was during the presidency of his government.
He is afraid of what? He'll be afraid that when he comes, what?
He'll be detained.
So back in Ofori-Atta was here when the new government took office.
But he left when his government was still in charge.
Yeah, he left when his government was in charge. He came back. When he was leaving again, his government was out of office.
When did he come back?
When did he come back?
Yes.
Why? When he went for the COVID treatment, he didn't come back.
Oh, he came back. But in January, when he was leaving, the MPP was still in power.
The MPP was still in power?
Yes.
Yes, so that is why extradition processes have been activated. Is that not also a legal remedy? He left with notice. So if the circumstances of his stay are suggestive of the fact that he can't come back to the country, he will stay where he is. Processes have been activated. Why are those processes follow? That matter will also be determined as to whether he should be extradited or not. It's another kettle of fish.
Okay.
We are not dealing with a purely immigration matter. Purely immigration matter. Strictly and solely for the purpose of.
Mr. Davis also rejected suggestions that Ofori-Atta's application for an extension of stay is an attempt to avoid accountability in Ghana or evade legal processes from the Office of the Special Prosecutor.
That one has been done, and if we all know what he is suffering from, it is not easy. After that, you have to go through a period of recuperation, and that is exactly what he is doing. So he is in consultation, constant consultation with his medical team, and if they have advised that the state at which they are, it is imperative for him to continue to remain in the state so that they can attend to him. What is exactly wrong with that? What is exactly wrong with that? Why? Because he is with that. What is exactly wrong with that? Why? Because he is a person of suspect or a supposed accused person. His fundamental human rights and liberties are curtailed. Is that what we want to be told as Ghanaians? That as a Ghanaian, he can't seek medical treatment outside this country? Of course, Ofori-Atta's visa period lapses next month on the 14th of February, as you are aware. Today is the 7th of January. If for one reason or the other he thinks, based upon consultation with his doctors, that he has to remain in the state for a further period for him to be attended to, it is imperative that he activates the processes that will guarantee him the stay in America. And that is exactly what he has done. And this is a routine, customary, common, normal practice in every jurisdiction of this world. It's not only in America. If you visit the country, and when you are supposed to leave, something occasions, and you are not able to leave, you are obliged to continue to remain there. What is so strange about this? So yes, he has applied for his stay to be extended.
You're still watching JoyNews Prime. When we return from this quick turn, lawyer for Kwabena Edubwain, Samuel Atta, launches scathing attack on the Attorney General. We have details after this quick turn. Thanks for staying with us. Lawyer for Kwabena Edubwain, Samuel Atta, launches a scathing attack on the Attorney General over his decision to enter nolle prosequi on certain cases, branding the move as politically motivated rather than guided by law. The Attorney General, Dr. Dominic Ayeni, on July 22, 2025, issued a press release announcing the discontinuation of the case involving Dr. Kwabena Dumfo and 7 others. The statement explained that the decision was informed by significant progress in asset recovery, citing a 60% recovery of losses, as well as complex legal nature of the prosecution. Speaking on the AM show on JoyNews channel earlier today, Atta said the discontinuation of the case and others had left him disturbed, describing the decision as politically motivated rather than grounded in law.
I will tell you one thing which is very important for everybody, if you understand the ethos of democracy. Don't interfere with the rule of law. The fact that you are in power does not license you to be criminal. And let's get it right. So I was very, very, very disturbed when the Attorney General entered nolle prosequi for people who have been arraigned before a court of competent jurisdiction for various offenses. Immediately they were ushered into power. So what will happen? If I should be president and it is found that, an MPP individual, has fallen foul of the law, I'm of the view that let due process run. Let it continue.
Would it be a problem of a person who is an Attorney General or the law that allows the Attorney General to enter nolle prosequi? I ask, what do you think is the problem? Is it the law as we have it? Because then people can hide behind the law. Or it is the person who occupies a particular role?
It is the democratic posture of the government. Attorney General will not function that way, that I've entered nolle prosequi, when it has, serious, financial consequences as well. And people who have been arraigned and even somewhere, on trial. So it is a political decision. It's not because of the fact that you have the power to enter null prosequi. But that is a decision of the NDC. Now, we don't believe that these individuals should be prosecuted.
Attacha also stated that the case involving his client, the former Director General of the National Signals Bureau, Kwamna Idu-Boahen, will go in their favor. He argued that while the case received excessive publicity, the evidential support presented by the prosecution in court is weak.
I believe that there was an over-advertisement of this case, but the evidential support, in the court of competent jurisdiction is very anemic. And that is the challenge because, if you got even a prosecution witness trying to explain that, but these things are what we do, and the very account is a national security account, and not a private account. It leaves much to be desired, but this is what happened. I don't know whether there is an over-dramatization that, let's be seen to be prosecuting people. And madam, we should be very mindful of the fact that it is easy to do your razzmatazz in the public and in the media space, but it's extremely difficult to prove that this is a case which is beyond reasonable doubt, and therefore you will secure conviction. The two are not the same.
Lands at the Ghana Radio Astronomy Observatory, owned by the Ghana Atomic Energy Commission, have shrunk from the original 163 acres to less than 30 acres due to encroachment. Speaking to JoyNews, the director of the Ghana Space Science and Technology Institute, Dr. Joseph Brimantando, said the people living around the observatory use equipment that emits radio frequencies which interfere with faint signals received from space, affecting the study of the universe. More details are in the following report.
The Ghana Atomic Energy Commission, GAEC, hosts the Ghana Radio Astronomy Observatory, a key scientific facility that supports space research. The observatory, which requires a protected environment free from human interference, has been invaded by encroachers. Director of the Ghana Space Science and Technology Institute, Dr. Joseph Brimantando, spoke about activities of residents around the observatory that interfere with sensitive signals received from space, posing a serious threat to research operations.
Here we study deep space in terms of activities that are happening in our universe. So we measure masers, we measure pulses. What we mean is we have to understand what is happening in our deep space, because what happens in space definitely affects us. When there's a solar flare, it affects our climate here, it affects our GPS positioning system. This system is not only for research, but it's also for training. So what we do here is we train the young ones in terms of STEM education, engineering, we do physics training, machine learning, data analysis. So it's a regional center for inspiration for our youth in terms of science. One of the key problems we are having is with encroachment, because when we're talking about using radio astronomy, we are measuring faint signals from deep space. So when you have people living around and also using equipment that emits RF, like radio frequencies, it interferes with the signals that we receive, which affects the science. And beginning, I said, this is a regional designated center. We do collaborative research with other laboratories in the world that have similar systems to study the universe. So people living around make it difficult for us to make measurements because you have interferences. Even here, we are not even allowed to use wireless because it interferes with the measurements. So we initially started with 163 acres. Currently, I'll tell you, we have less than 30 acres. All the land has been encroached. The little that we have, we've been able to fence it. But even the ones that we fenced, day by day, we still have people coming in and they will break, we have to build, break, we have to build. And not only that, it's the science that is the interference that we're getting from the science. If this thing continues, it means that we have to abandon the science that we do here, which will be a great blow to us as a country, because we have collaborative partners who helped us to build this facility for other people also to use for their research. When the students come here, last year alone, we had almost 2,000 students visiting. Seeing the edifice alone inspires them to do engineering, to do science. And most of the technologies that we are enjoying now emanated from astronomy. the Wi-Fi that we got, GPS, all these MRI, all those technologies came from radio astronomy. So we plead that policymakers help us to protect this facility.
Director of Communication at GAEC, Nana Boatin, has reaffirmed the Commission's commitment to reclaim all encroached lands and prevent further illegal occupation.
Yes, so we're working very closely with the security agencies to support us with patrolling and warding off the illegal occupiers of the land. This is government land, and then we cannot allow illegal occupiers to take over the land because the activities are affecting what we do here at the radio astronomy, the Ghana radio astronomy, which is a national asset. You understand? We use it for a lot of things for this country. We monitor the space from Ghana. We know we are close to the equator, and so globally, this is a favorite research institution that all global agencies would like to use. And so it's a national asset all Ghanaians have to be proud of. But the activities of these illegal occupiers, especially using gadgets like microwaves and stuff like that, distorts the activities that we do there. And so, yes, we'll stop them, we'll continue to demolish, and we'll also continue to take it up legally in the law courts by suing some of them.
For Joy News, Mavis Kabukwo's report read to you.